I hope you guys really pay attention in this video because I think that this is going to be one of my most influential, or at least one of my most helpful videos I've ever made. What's up, my soldiers? It's Wobbly Honor. Today I'm going to talk to you guys about buying a car in the Air Force. Now, usually when you join the Air Force, a lot of the new people who are coming into the Air Force, they don't know much about buying cars. Specifically speaking, I'm talking about interest rates, I'm talking about car payments, I'm talking about things like that. I'm really going to inform you guys on some of the more specific details about being a young airman and trying to buy a car in the Air Force. Let's take a look at the biggest demographic of people who are joining the Air Force. The biggest group of people who join the Air Force are what? Typically young males. What do young males do best? We make really poor and really impulsive decisions. Those aren't two good traits to go out and buy a car with. So hopefully this video will help you guys out a little bit. Ladies, you can watch this as well because some of this also applies to you. The first thing I'll say is don't buy a Mustang. You don't need a Mustang. Don't buy a Camaro. You do not need a Camaro. I know plenty of senior airmen and staff sergeants, tech sergeants who regret buying really expensive cars when they first joined the Air Force. When they were airmen just like you, they went out and of course they bought the newest car because they had a little bit extra change in their pocket and they thought that they could afford it. And most importantly, the dealerships, they're not going to stop you. They're not going to make sure that you're making the best decision. They're going to make sure that they're making the most money off of you. So they don't really care about your future financial situation. So you have to really look out for yourself. I know you're going to want to buy a Mustang. I know you're going to want to buy a Camaro, especially since, you know, you might get you some girls with it. You know, you're going to be kind of cool with it. You can really have some fun with it. But when you're like 35 years old, you're not going to have much use for it anymore because you'll still be paying it off, I guarantee you. What you do want to do is you want to think carefully about the car that you want. You want to either save up for it or get a loan. I know a lot of people, they'll tell you don't get a loan. It's going to ruin your credit. You're going to ruin your credit score. But if you get a loan, that can actually build your credit score if you actually pay it off on time. If you find yourself a nice little $5,000, $7,000 car, maybe even a truck if you want a truck, and you just pay it off over 2 or 3 years, it's paid off. Now you have your own vehicle. Now your insurance is going to drop down a lot because, by the way, you're going to be like 18, 17, buying a car, your insurance is going to be like $250 easily on a Camaro. So if you pay your car off, now you don't have to have as much insurance on your car. Now it can be lowered a little bit more and you can save a lot more money. So research your car, make sure you buy a car that is reasonable for your climate, make sure it's reasonable for gas miles, make sure it's reasonable for paying it off on time. Just try to make the best decision for you financially. Look out for yourself because if you buy something really expensive or something really hot shot, you know, you're going to be paying it off for at least 10, 15 years. And what happens if you get married? What happens if you have kids and move out of the dorm? Now you have to pay bills. If you buy yourself a cheaper vehicle, or at least one that's under $10,000, you can pay it off within 3 or 4 years. You'll definitely have your credit way up now. Then you can go out and you can buy yourself a real nice car because now you have credit, you'll have a little bit of extra money saved up, and now you're gonna have the wisdom to go out and buy something really nice. Those cheap master sergeants and colonels walking around with those big Mercedes and BMWs, you think they were airmen driving those? No, they make hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, colonels, and they're driving those vehicles. You do not belong in those vehicles. Maybe not hundreds of thousands, but they make a lot of money. What you definitely want to do is you want to shop around for insurance. Originally, I was with Geico because I just always hear Geico save 15% or whatever. So I didn't even look anywhere else. I went straight with Geico and I was paying like $170 every month. And then I realized, okay, well, let me shop around a little bit more because I was starting to hear other prices. I was like, this is a lot cheaper than I have had. So I went over to USAA. USAA says, oh yeah, we'll give that to you for 70. Oh, $100 cheaper? Bet. So make sure you shop around for insurance. You can find a lot better deals. In my experience, I found a lot better deals with USAA and Navy Federal. Also, you want to check your interest rates. If you get a loan, check your interest rates. You don't want anything that's like super high because obviously you're going to pay a lot more money. Of course, if this is your first loan, you're probably going to have really low credit score or no credit at all, so you're probably going to have a really high APR. When I got my truck, I think my APR was like 12-15%, but after I paid that off, it dropped down to 3. Now let me move on to the biggest point that I want to make. If you ever look at any military base in the continental United States and you search on Google Maps or whatever, if you search for car dealerships, you're going to start to see around that military base, it's like an attack or something. Like dots will just pop up in a giant circle around the military base of car dealerships. Why do you think that is? Why do you think that they are setting up all these car dealerships strategically, almost it seems, around these military bases? Here's why. They know that right across that gate, right over that little fence, there's hundreds and hundreds of airmen with a lot of money, with nothing really to do with their money. They don't have any bills, they don't have no mortgage, they don't have a car payment because you don't have a car yet. They know that you may be impulsive, that you're probably going to be ill-informed about the car that you're buying, and that they can probably just trick you into buying anything. So they will do anything in their power, and this is in my experience, this is the things that I've actually seen in their power to get you into that car dealership to buy something that you really don't even need. Many car dealerships around the bases, you're going to start to see signs outside like, we support the troops, you know, big Air Force flags, big POW, MIA flags, which is great. great if you are patriotic. And we appreciate those people who really support the troops, who are actually patriotic. But there are some businesses out there, they'll just put them up just to get you in. You walk into the car dealership, they see this haircut, they know that you're military. They'll say, oh, well, are you in the Army or are you in the Air Force? They know. And you'll say, oh yeah, I'm in the Air Force. And they say, oh, that's great. We appreciate you. Shake your hand and all this. And hey, here's some coffee. This is in my experience. Hey, here's some coffee. You want some food? We got some food in the break room if you want some food. Take a seat. And they'll really just kind of, relax you up and got you all smoothed up. Then Bill Cosby comes out the back with some strange pills. No, I'm just kidding. I'm sorry, Bill Cosby. But they will really try to relax you and try to get you into that mood to buy and feel comfortable and feel like they are trustworthy. And the more money they can get out of you, the better. So watch out for yourself. Try to avoid car dealerships, used and new car dealerships. Avoid them at all costs. So where can you get a car from if you're in the Air Force? I would say get a car from someone in the military. Whenever someone PCS is out of that base, they typically sell their car and buy a new one at the new base. So look out for those. There's lots of people always moving in and out of base who are selling their cars. These people are trustworthy. There are people who you probably work with or probably have seen before, and you know that you can trust them, that they're not going to scam you out of a car. Most Air Force bases have a lemon lot, so it's just a big parking lot full of cars, and people who are PCSing, they'll just leave their car there, they'll put it for sale, put a sign on it, and you just call them up, say, hey, I want to test drive your whatever, and then they come out. It's typically cheaper, a lot cheaper than going off base somewhere. It's more trustworthy, and you're just going to get a way better deal. Another great source is Craigslist. If you can shop on Craigslist, usually the people in the area who are selling their own cars, it's a lot cheaper than going on an actual car dealership. Of course, you want to haggle, you want to try to get it down to the lowest price as well, so that's something that you cannot do at a car dealership. You're never going to really haggle unless you have super high credit. So yeah, just be very vigilant, be very cognizant of the people who are around you at car dealerships, because they will try and try and try to get the best deal out of you. Another important factor that a lot of new airmen don't consider is the climate. Well, you might be stationed in Florida now, and a Camaro might sound nice, that brand new Mustang might look nice in the sunlight on the beach with girls on top of it. But when you're in Alaska with Eskimos and moose and snow everywhere up to your hips, it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to have a Camaro. And one of the things that you have to keep in mind is that you have to be mobile. You have to move at a moment's notice. So this year you might be in Florida, next year you might be in North Dakota with a bunch of corn and snow and ice and wind. So you have to really consider what car will be the best in any environment. If you get orders over to Korea or Japan, then you're gonna have to sell your vehicle or you're gonna have to store it. If you're gonna store it, then you're paying for a vehicle that you can't even use. And if you're gonna sell it, you're probably gonna be upside down in the payments. That basically means that you're gonna sell it for less than it's worth, and you're gonna sell it and still be in debt and still have to pay for a car that you don't even have at this point, because you can't take cars over to Japan or Korea. So that's something that you want to think about as well. If you have a cheaper car, you can pay it off, you can have it, and then you can just sell it. If you need the PCS, you can just get rid of it real quick. That's why so many people just get rid of their cars when they PCS. The dealership knows pretty much exactly how much money you make. They know that after taxes, after you get your deductions, you walk away with about $1,400 every month. So it's very easy for them to sell that to you. They can say, oh, well, hey, your payment's going to be $250 a month. But you're walking away with, $1,400 a month. You can spend a little of that. You can afford that. We'll see now. Let's calculate everything else that you have to do. You have a phone bill, probably. You'll probably have an internet bill, some type of Wi-Fi. You'll probably have some type of maintenance bill, so oil changes, routine checks, tire changes, anything like that. If you ding your car up, you have to pay for that as well. Emergency funds, savings, that's another big one. If you're doing anything else on the side, hobbies, fun, anything with entertainment, that's also going to cost you money. So you have to calculate all this stuff into your budget. And now, once you've calculated all that, drop that $500 of repayment and insurance in there and see how that works out for you. Some airmen, they make it work. They have that Camaro out there, but they're not saving any money. So when they retire, they're not going to have anything to show for it but this 5-year-old Camaro. And so you're just like, yeah, I can't afford that. And the $250 of insurance, well, that's $500. I still have all this money left over. So just be aware of those facts. I hope you all learned a little bit about cars in this video. It's pretty simple. You just buy a normal car. If that's what you came to this video for, you just buy it like a normal car. You can get loans. You can just buy a car. Other frequently asked questions I get about cars is, yes, you can have cars in tech school. Yes, you can drive from your tech school to your first base, or you can have it shipped. The second question is, can I drive on base? Which, funny enough, is something I get a lot of times. Yes, you can drive on base. It's just like a normal anywhere else. It's just streets and roads and parking lots and stoplights. It's a street. I don't know why so many people ask me that question. And the third commonly asked question about cars is, what if I don't have a driver's license, or what if I don't have a car? Well, when you get to your first duty base, someone from your shop or from your job is going to drive you to and from work. Make sure you get to the grocery store if you need to. to. Make sure you need to get some food. Everything will be taken care of for you. However, at some point in time, you're gonna have to get a license and get a car. A few people ask me about registration, like do you have to register your car to the base or stuff like that? No, you don't have to register it. It's just a car, you bring it on base. As long as it's street legal, then you can pretty much bring it on base. But hey guys, that's pretty much it for this video. Hope you all enjoyed. I'll see you guys next time. Peace out. Hey guys, make sure you check me out on Twitch tonight. I'll be on live at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. See you guys then. Peace out.